Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. We are still digging into Inazuma. By the time you see this, maybe not so much, but for me, still deep in it at the time of this recording. But today we're going to address a massive problem that I've been having for a long time. It's a good problem to have, but alas, it can be very cluttering and annoying. But with 2.0 came a very interesting mechanic that people are kind of debating whether it's worth it or not. And I think it is worth it if you have an abundance of time or play the game a lot or are not a whale. It seems like whale people don't have this problem exactly because you're able to do resin refreshes without any sort of fear. So you basically have an abnormal amount of artifacts. Now, why is that relevant? Well, of course, we're talking about this. In every single crafting bench now, we can go over to this. And we can make a trade, the Mystic Offering. So we can basically convert a lot of our artifacts of any kind, use it as fuel to generate artifacts of these four. But it's pretty costly. You're trading in 3 of your any artifacts for 1 of the 4. Now the good news is a lot of these are actually pretty decent. The Gladiator's finale is wonderful, especially with some upcoming characters that they may release later. This is great for charge attacks and such like that. Also, people who have Elemental Mastery buff, the 2-piece is good on that one as well. This one gives you physical damage, and of course, Noblest Oblige, everybody knows what that one gives you good ultimate burst damage, as well as giving you an attack bonus when you use your ult, but it cannot be stacked. Is this something worth investing in? Should you be burning 3 of your artifacts for the potential to get the same shitty artifact within 1 of them? And it's kind of back and forth, but I think the distinction or the general discussion is pretty simple. If you have enough artifacts to use as energy sources to upgrade previous artifacts, you're good. Also, if you've been playing the game for a long duration of time and you have many 20 leveled up artifacts or artifacts at level 20 that you're not even using, then I think you can use this. If you are just starting out, absolutely don't waste your artifacts on this. Again, it's much better off to have an artifact that is okay but level 20 than an artifact that is amazing. Well, you can't even tell if it's amazing because the stats have to roll right. But yeah, so like you get the best substats ever, but it has like attack percentage, which is still good, but it's not the craziest thing. And it goes all into attack percentage and nothing into crit rate or crit damage. Even like you're betting on a bad end. Whereas the base substat from leveling up something up to level 20 is much more valuable, especially when you're starting out. So I think do not do this when you are just starting out, and or if you have a low artifact energy pool. So again, if you have a lot of artifacts that you're not even using that are like leveled up to 20, then yes, you can just take those artifacts and bash them into another artifact and you're good to go. So that's one kind of person. Person who shouldn't do this is the person who's just getting into the game, doesn't have a lot of artifact energy. It's people who do not have characters specifically that are good for a lot of these sets. Now the good news is that a lot of people can use Noblest Oblige, but let's say you get the best artifact, you get 3 amazing artifact sets of Noblest Oblige, which is kind of a waste because you can only really have 2 good artifact sets of Noblest Oblige because it doesn't stack on top of each other. So in Spiral Abyss, you can just have 2 of those people working for you. Anyways. So, I mean, physical damage is good with this one. Elemental Mastery, maybe. Gladiator, sure. So, yeah, that's the other thing. If they ever put, like, a brand new artifact set in here or an exclusive artifact set for just doing this, that would be interesting. So, yes, those are the 2 negatives you need to weigh. If you have no interest in any of these artifacts, of course, don't get them. But there is some utility to using a specific, just any of these things, because it's constantly giving you another time to re-roll. Okay, so we talked about the negatives. Do not participate in this if you do not have an abundance of artifact XP. Do not participate in this if you have nothing to gain from the set bonuses, ... and something else. Anyway, so now who should do this? This is something that I think everyone should do if you do the artifact run. So for those guys who don't know what that is, I made a whole video about it a while ago, and I have to make a new one for Inazuma because there's a couple places where artifacts can spawn, and God in heaven, man, the Genshin map does not tell you where most of these are. Like this, just a heads up, this right here, it has filled with artifact spawn points. It is kind of dog-piled on top of each other, so I get why they don't want to keep putting icons everywhere. But yeah, there's plenty of places that are all filled with these artifact things. Anywho, So yes, the artifact route, if you guys don't know what it is, it's basically you interacting with the interactable twinkles in the world, and you crack them open, and a lot of white and green artifacts pop out. Now, because there is such a mass quantity of places where you can quickly spawn, grab, spawn, grab, spawn, you guessed it, grab, you can accrue a shit ton of white tier artifacts, and this resets every single day within a 24-hour cycle, not at reset. So if you started at 1 p.m., you're going to need to do it at 1:01 p.m. The next day. Anyways, so if you do this daily, you're going to accrue an insane amount of value on your account, because like I said, artifact account value is amazing, or energy value is amazing. So the amount of like level 20s or 19s or 14s you have in terms of artifacts, that you can take that artifact and burn it into another artifact just to see if you can get better potential from that other artifact. So it's really good. Also, it's just something to do every day that's not the worst. To be like, the rock farm can be the worst. This is really simple. It's pretty satisfying. You just go to the place, you crack open a seal, you see what you get, and then you leave. And it's super fast. So yeah, if people who do the artifact thing, which again, there's a video, you can Google it. I might even link it in the description down below if you guys ask or remind me. So yeah, I will also be making a part 2 to that for Inazuma, all the little tiny little crevices that have artifact things as well. So if you do the artifact XP thing, you are going to accrue a massive amount of energy just generally, especially if you're doing it daily, which I am. But you'll also run into this problem where you basically have no need to use other artifacts. So you guys can see that I have 982, almost 1,000 artifacts. All of them are legendary, or 5-star. Every single one is a 5-star. Now, how do you get to do that? How is that a thing, Grin? Well, they're all 5 stars, well, except for this little batch, this handful right here, probably like 20 or something right here. The reason why I have so many 5-star things is because I basically just used the artifact farm to push value into my artifacts. So they're all basically charged with blues and greens and all that stuff. Not to mention, every single time you do an artifact run, you're also getting blues and purples and stuff that you can use for cannon fodder. But again, it's not, if you want to level up artifacts quite quickly and consistently, then this is, of course, a great way to do it, is do the artifact farm and just using the white tier artifacts to fuel your legendaries. Cool. But we have a problem on our hand, especially when you keep doing domains, because everyone is at endgame is trying to get a better artifact set. So it's not like you're not going to do artifact sets and get legendaries. But the problem is that you're still doing the artifact farm, so you're still going to be losing space. So eventually, you're going to have to take some time, which I did before Inazuma dropped, and I basically marked all of the artifacts that were worth a damn. So all of these that are not locked have 0 potential, or at least not enough to be worth my time. So I basically locked them, and you guys can see all of these up to what point? Right here. All of these, this going all the way up are at least +9s or +10s, which is a shit ton of energy value for my entire account over a long period of time because I was investing in doing the artifact farm every day. So, needless to say, I have an abundance of legendary gear that I just don't need. And honestly, I don't even need the energy that's on my account at this point, because I already have, like, too much. I already have so much potential energy, and I'm going to continue to do the artifact farm because I like it. It's something, it's peaceful, it's kind of good to do in a background while you're watching a podcast, all that shit. So yeah, I'm in, essentially. They got me, essentially. So again, this is a part of the discussion of this conversion. It's worth it for me, and it probably is worth it for you if you do the artifact spawn or farm, and you don't just constantly roll artifacts, which, by the way, I could make use of this in a different way. I could just take even one of the artifacts in my thing that only has 1 instance of crit rate. It could roll crit rate every single time, which could be really valuable. So it's not like I couldn't invest my golds into themselves and see a massive payout of that. But that's good, and that could be very valuable, although I'm betting on really low odds, because it could go into all 4. I'm betting that it's going to go into the 1 each time. It's rough. But what I could use, and this is what I would advise for people who are at endgame, who do have an abundance of artifact energy on their account, and who are maybe like me, who have 1,000 legendaries. This is the value that lies within this thing. Essentially, most times, if you are a free-to-play player, or if you are a low spender, as long as you're not a whale, whales can re-instance, resin like 6 times a day or whatever, just get a shit ton of more progression than you can. But you probably can't do that, or at the very least, this is something that everybody makes use of, even whales to that extent. So I'm not trying to divide, I'm just trying to say that this is something that I think free-to-play players have to do, whereas whales maybe have a choice. Okay, maybe even not. But most of my characters, you guys can see, have one piece out of alignment. In fact, every one of my players has at least one piece out of alignment. So for instance, let's take Razor. Razor is perfect. Almost on every account, we got great crit rate, crit damage there, all of these fun things. And by perfect, I mean good. As good as I can get as a light spender, or at least that's how I like to think of myself. But regardless, this right here is the one thing where my Razor is pretty shit on. His helmet, his critical damage scaling helmet with a little bit of crit rate, and hopefully some more than just defense, which it kept rolling into. That is what I'm looking for when it comes to Razor. So, that's the only piece that I can find, but God in heaven, have I not been able to find a critical damage helmet to save my life. It's just like it refuses to drop a good one for me. This is the one I got. Yeah, see, HP defense, disgusting. Anyways, there's a couple, but they're not even, I just marked them because they kind of have some potential if there is ever an HP person in the future. Anyways, okay, that is what we are going to do today. We are going to burn a lot of my resources in the hopes that I can get at least one critical damage helmet. I'm not going to burn all of my legendary energy, essentially, because again, I'm hunting for artifacts for both Sayu, my supports, and of course Yoimiya. So I need energy to level up all of their artifacts, potentially, so I'm not burning all of it, but I think I might burn like 200 to maybe, I think I'll stop when we get to like 670, maybe 670, something like that. Now the question is, which one should I use? Well, Noblest Oblige is the one that makes the most sense, but it also can't be stacked. So that one's rough, because you're basically gonna, more often than not, you can't control me getting a crown, but what you can control is just getting a lot of a said thing. But even still, 2-piece Noblest Oblige is fantastic on just about everybody, so. But I'm having a real big struggle with getting anything for Yoimiya. I'm telling you, man, it's rough out here. So I want to go into this one just because it's going to give us Elemental Mastery as well as, what is it? Oh, more damage on our charge attacks, which Yoimiya's is really low, so it's probably not a good idea to even do this one now that I think about it, because yeah, it's charge attack that it gives buffs to. I don't know. Let's split the difference. Let's go a couple in here, and let's go into, I think, Noblest Oblige. Yeah, Wanderer's Troop, we're mainly here just to get a critical decal crown. Or not decal, sorry, critical crown is what we're after. Anyways, let's do this. I've never actually used this before, and also we're not burning any of the new artifacts. We're going to burn every single other artifact that I have. By the way, you can do this. There's no limit on how much you can stack, which is kind of nuts. Oh, no, never mind. There is. There is. I was wrong. They do put a limit. I just knew you could do a lot. I didn't know there was actually a cap, but yeah. So we are going to get 13, what is this? Wanderer's Trope. Well, hopefully at least one of them are good. And then we're going to see what happens. Okay, return. All right, oh, come on. I logged off for half a second and the game's like, you liar. Yeah, let's not do that one. I should double check, but I kind of was bored and I was burning through all my artifacts and there's just 1,000 to look through. So I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna go fast and commit. But anyways, boom. Do you wish to consume 39 5-star artifacts to create 13? Oh, why do they phrase it like that? That's just so wounding, but sure. Oh, yeah, they phrase it in a horrible way. They're like, you're a dummy. You're a dum-dum. But oh, we got a lot of helmets. That's what I want to see. No, I don't. Actually, let's try that. I want to see if I put in a bunch of helmets, will it give me helmets in return? I don't think so. But that'd be a pretty nice kind of thing in general, if you could like actually trade crowns for crowns. Although almost that would be worse, because that means if you just don't have a lot of crowns, which sometimes crowns don't drop, man. It's a pain. Anyways, that is good enough. Well, not really. No, it's not. It's not good enough, but not good either. Yeesh. Why can't I lock these? That's hella frustrating. Anyways, that one's not bad. We might keep that one. I'm actually switch over to keyboard just because I can lock them. It's disgusting and not good. It's not bad, but who knows if we'll need an HP helmet. But yeah, well, that one's probably worth keeping. I hate that I can't lock them. It sucks because yeah, I want to be like, hey, I gotta find these in my inventory again. Yeah, but see, I think this is the play. So like you'll get this drop and then you should immediately stop and invest in the one that gave you some potential. Sometimes you can go a long time without getting nothing though. So I feel you on that. Yeah, Lottie's not bad. Okay, yeah, that's pretty damn good. That one too. Anyways, yeah, well, it is good good for me. I know some people who like can spend infinite money in the game might be like, oh fucking this is trash. But to me, I'm like, something has potential a little bit maybe. All right, I'm gonna do two things. I am gonna go over here and I'm gonna switch to keyboard and mouse, which is hella awkward to me, but we're gonna do that anyway. Just because I want to make sure that I can lock it, and I'm not sure if I can. It might still be like, no. This is another thing though, we can reinvest all of these, which is pretty good. Yeah, so I guess it's a good way to just trim the fat. I think this is that's the best way to think about these kind of things, is it's just trimming the fat. You're not like chopping off a limb here. All right, we didn't get a lot. Also, I don't even think we went down that much. Like we spent, yeah, what? Did we even, yeah, I guess we only spent really 40 in hindsight, so it's not like the worst bit of business. Anyways, how do I even play with this? All right, back to conversion. Here we go, more Wanderer's Troop, and then we go for a set of Noblest Oblige. How do we do this? Click this? All right, don't, no, stop it. Do not click those ones. Also, why do you scroll so slowly? Anyway, okay, so this is gonna be a test. We're gonna put all of these helmets here. We're only gonna put helmets and see. I don't think they're only gonna give us helmets. Also, some of these were really trashy and no bueno. So we're gonna actually let it devour itself a little bit here. Okay, just click off screen. Boom. 25, 8, sure. We just want a little bit. I just want to see this is a test. We're gonna get more. I'm gonna assume helmets. Yeah. Okay, so it is some helmets, but it is also other things. So you can burn anything. You're gonna get a random assortment. Got it. HP Hydro Cup. It's okay. No, cool. We can't lock it. Okay, good. I was hoping that was the case. The attack percentage. If it rolled in crit rate, it'd be worth it. If this was not percentage, there'd be no doubt. Or like flat attack. No. What is this? HP? No. HP crit rate. No. HP attack. No. No, maybe. Energy recharge. No, it's fine. Again, this is what. Oh, this is what it sucks. You're like, oh, it's HP. I seen the substats first. I'm an asshole. Not like this. But maybe there's a character that scales off HP and also has Elemental Mastery. I guess that makes sense because this could be support based, even just a 2-piece. Anywho, what's this? Energy recharge. Not too good. Cool. All right. Enough of that. Let's go to the Noblest Oblige, which is kind of more of a general good than anything else. And this is where we're gonna start going full send it as well. Where again it could be anything. So let's go to. We've reached the maximum point. Full send it. Go! Go! Noblest Oblige. Ass. This Noblest Cup is not looking good. This one, defense. Substats look terrible as well. HP attack on a goblet, not great. Crit rate, nothing. Not good enough. HP, nothing. Actually, what? Crit rate. It's all flat though. We don't want that flat. All right, we can't handle that flatness. All right, and too much. Crit rate, energy recharge, and HP percent. Fine, that's fine. It's not great. Energy recharge, crit rate. That's what we just looked at on this. And no, this. Crit damage, crit rate, HP. Maybe. This is my problem. Is like I'm like maybe no. Elemental mastery, crit rate. Sure, that one's fine. HP, crit rate, elemental damage, attack percentage. There could be a character that scales off of a thing, and this is I would not do it unless this was art. This is a thing that basically is a support set anyway, so it's not the worst to have it set up like that. What are we doing with the number of artifacts that we actually have? Let's touch base real quick. I don't think we made a dent. I was hoping we'd make a dent. Yep, we haven't even went down to, I wanted to get down to like a couple, I want to spend a couple hundred, my dude. And so we gotta get shit cooking. Again, I've looked at all of these. I know there's no more potential in them, or at least that's what I'm feeling. In terms of crit rate, it's also months, man. Months of grinding. Defense, HP, not good. Defense, crit rate, okay. Depend. Ooh, I mean, it's better than the one we favorited last time. Did I catch this one? I did. That was the one we looked at. That was worth it. Crit rate and crit damage, that's not bad. Crit damage, that's worth it. This is, that's what we just looked at. Come on! Oh, I'm hoping so. That's actually not bad for Albedo. No defense. Man, you're cruel. Not a single DPS. A crit damage thing. Sure. No. Also, by the way, I realize I'm a little like I've said yes to things, and then I've said no to things of equal value. So I don't know why I'm like, well, what? Of course not. It's weird. Anyways, we're just trying to burn through some of our reserve of an excess, and I mean excess amount of artifacts. But I don't want to go all the way down to the bottom. You know, that's where we start getting a little messy. Also, do not by any means put like leveled up artifacts here. I hope like they warn people like, hey, idiot, stop it. Stop putting leveled up versions of these here. Also, yeah, I know we're going more wondrous trope just because I want to see not the good, not the good, not the good, not the good. It's fine. No. This is really like ADHD, just heaven right now for me anyways. Attack, critical rate's making me think twice, but it's also a helmet, so it's probably stupid. Attack, I mean, there may be a character that, well, no character scale of attack percentage in that way, which otherwise it would be useful. But yeah, they don't. It's flat attack, usually. Sure, maybe? Sure, I don't want to walk away from any of these being absolutely shot, like nothing. HP, maybe. No. 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 Maybe. Yeah, it's not bad. There, look at that. Only one bad stat there. This. Ooh! I need crit rate. I need a little crit rate. That's the thing. Because I'm on the cuff. I need at least 7. So if this rolls crit rate, that's not bad. That's potential. Not good. Okay, well, let's take a pause. That was actually not the worst. Let's go back to inventory. Right here, baby. Crit damage, attack. Again, if this goes into crit rate, then we're good to go. Well, we're okay, I should say. We're not great, but we're hopefully in a better place. I wish you could just input more things in there. Because it's the worst. Having to wait. HP energy recharge. No. This is a no-go. Feels bad, but we got close. That's the feeling when you're like, this could be the up. No. Okay, well. Okay, and this is kind of a good way to consolidate your effort throughout a long period of time in a hyper-focused moment of potentially getting it again. Basically reusing your artifacts to see if you can get another thing. And this is really good when you're hunting specifically for one piece of an artifact set or ideal. So yeah. Like for me, I'm only looking for a helmet, really. That's kind of my sole purpose at this moment. And again, you can keep using the same ones you just bought as long as you've been making a point to lock the ones that have potential, then you're probably pretty okay just to devour all of the other trash ones. But again, be careful. Always like leave a little bit of energy in your account just so that you can level up other artifacts. That is the other part of the battle. It's not just obtaining a good roll potential artifact. It's about investing in it all the way so you can see if it is even going to be worth a damn. That is not bad at all. Look at that. Yeah, it's not bad. Especially with the goblets. Goblets are of higher value because typically those are the things that people have to switch out because goblets with cryo element and good substats are just insane because there's so many different types of cryo elemental damage bonuses to attain. So it's really hard to find the one that you got or the one that you want and also have not the worst substats like any of these, like crit rate or crit damage. If it hits any of that, that's going to be good. A percentage one, unless they put a character out that scales off of that percentage increase, then it seems really pointless because most of the ones that increase or scale up based on your attack doesn't get affected by percentage, which is rather shitty. I don't know. Again, it's like if they ever release, this is the trap. I would honestly say that you're probably better off being like, no. But I can't. But yeah, you're probably better off being like, you know what? No, it's done. It's too good to be true. We're done. We're over it. Boom. But then there's cases where you might need the thing. So yeah. And again, for those guys who are not like really on in the loop when it comes to like all of this, great stats to look out for: critical rate, critical damage, attack percentage, energy recharge now, and elemental mastery. So all of those stats are amazing. When it says HP flat attack, that's terrible. Same thing with defense flat attack, and same thing with attack energy attack. So those are things to look out for. That's why I'm looking for, by the way. And also I'm looking at this right here, the main indicator, the HP, the main stat. But it's the substats that people really, you need to get stupid meticulous about. I already locked that one. That one looked nice. All right. I don't know how we are making out in terms of our efficiency. Let's just stay with Noblesse Oblige. I feel like I don't have too many characters rocking it yet. Timepieces is what I think I need to be careful with, because energy recharge could be a huge stat, especially with the new artifact set that's for support characters. So that's why I'm trying to be like, well, maybe not. Let's not chew up those ones too fast. All right, I think this is my last one, and then I think I may just start investing them into any sort of like potential that I see. But yeah, that's it. I don't think we made a dent in my reserve, but at least I think hopefully now I can actually like invest a lot of my because this is why I was doing this, by the way. I hate having to like do a dungeon and then being like, you can't collect your resources because you have full artifacts, and then you gotta burn as just 2 or 3 artifacts just so you can collect your yield. But for me, with you and Mia coming out and Sayu coming out and the new artifacts, the new artifact domain being ideal for both of those characters, I think I want to put a bunch of my resin in there, but I don't want to have to sit here and like kill all of my artifacts every couple hours, you know. Pyro, nope. Yeah, it has percentage there. That saved it. No. Yes. Yeah, it's really good actually. Defense is the only negative stat there. No. Is it HP? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It needs to have great stats, so I'm going to take the HP. That's okay stats. No, stop. No, I gotta start saying no. I'm at the point where I'm like, well, now I'm just like 90% of my items are locked items, which is not good. That's good because that's just a flower. Yeah. Maybe no. Well, maybe actually. What's that? Yeah, it's just it could roll all into everything else, but it's still fine. Ooh, I don't know. Andrew, a lot of these are like, well, mate, but no. You gotta start saying stop. It's time to stop. Did we make a dent, my dudes? Let's see. I doubt it. I think it's we did. Okay, so we didn't do 100. We did 70, but I could also. Okay, so here's the thing that's not the worst about that. Eventually I'm going to be trying to farm the new artifact set and spending a lot of resin for that. So hopefully I get a couple good drops, and then I can use my excess reserve to invest back into the hopefully decent, or at least potentially decent drops that come from the new artifact set, such as the energy recharge one, and of course the gains attack after using E kind of one that burns your ult as well. But yeah, also a ton of these, you try to like see if it like goes into the right potential, and it doesn't because it hits like HP and defense, or goes into defense twice, and you're like, you know what? No, you didn't want me, I don't want you. so yeah. But like this one, again, it's not the greatest, but HP and crit rate, good enough, I think. Crit damage and attack percentage and all that stuff, it just keeps going to those two, then it could be something worth maybe possibly taking home. This one, again, is energy recharge with critical rate. Again, the reason why I'm keeping energy recharge is just in case of this artifact set. I might need that super god tier energy recharge time watch and stuff like that. Yeah, and you can even see the ones that are new. And then the ones that I locked, which it's shitty that you can't lock them with your controller. You can only lock it while you're in like a PC weirdo land, but it is what it is. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully that was not the most bloated, weird, mess of a conversation that either of us have ever had. But essentially, to answer the question of, is this worth it? I think it's worth it based on where you are at in the game, and depending on what you need or want. This can be said for anything, I guess. Yeah, again, if you are just getting into the game, which is weird because you can only get to Inazuma, I think, when you reach AR 31 or AR 20 or something like that, so you're somewhat into the game. But typically people only really get a shit ton of artifacts like I have when you reach AR 54 or 45. I think it's 45. Something like that. Whenever you can start getting legendary artifacts. Regardless. Even the good news that used to be a pain in the ass, though, is that basically at AR 55, I believe, or AR 50. It was one of those things. But basically, when you got to that level, you increased your world level one more tick, and then all of the world bosses would double yield the Gladiator's Finale and the Wanderer's Trope, which were really, really hard to attain because you can only fight and get that via killing bosses. But if you got your world level, or sorry, AR rank leveled up enough, then you would be able to farm and get double the yield of that. Well, this time, you can only just, as long as you're farming for Noblest Oblige in the dungeon, burning your resin there, you can come back to this and spend the shittier versions of Noblest Oblige or any sort of artifact set that you've been farming and grinding and bring it back to this, and then get Gladiator's Finale or Wanderer's Troop. Now, those have kind of aged out of the meta in a weird way, but they're still good. It's still better than nothing, especially if it's out of consequence of you taking a bunch of shitty artifacts spending them into Gladiator's Finale or Wanderer's Troop or Noblesse Oblige and then getting an absolutely amazing stat roll on one of them, then you've essentially walked out on top. But it's RNG. You could spend three shitty ones and get an even worse shitty one. But then you have another one going towards more spending, so it's kind of a snake eating its own tail that inevitably will get to the end. Unless you're, of course, you keep burning your artifacts or resin into artifact dungeons, and of course you keep doing the artifact route to get artifacts that just to burn into energy. That way you're not having to dip into your energy reserves, which is also the negative of course, doing this is you're not going to have energy for your artifacts. But if you've been playing for a long time, or you do the route, you'll be able to full send it and be able to have enough energy all the time. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, your boy's got some energy himself. Had to go spend in the dungeon. Wish me luck. I'm off to go see if I can get a decent set for you and Mia. But this weekend when we streaming, boys, I'm going to burn, hopefully, a good bit of my fragile resin, which I have, I think, a handful of. Let's see. I got 25. Not great, but I'll probably spend 15 there. And hopefully, I'll keep the rest for just the rainy day when I think talent material books are up. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time, genuinely. Also, again, let me know what you guys think about whether this is worth it. I'm open to the discussion, of course. I'm just curious of if I'm missing anything that's like, oh no, that could have been incredibly valuable. Shit, I forgot about that entirely. Anywho, hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again for your time, and goodbye.